Hey everyone, Skull902 back here for Sonic 3 and Knuckles. This is part 2 of the Sonic run, where we'll be going off to Hydro City Zone, which I'll get into that in a little bit, the name pronunciation. But first, let's take a look here. Sonic 3 and Knuckles introduced like transition cutscenes for the zones, and that's a little exploit you can do. You're supposed to just like fall down, but there's a tiny little window where you can actually jump off the bridge and hang around for as long as you want until you jump down into the pit, and then it takes you here. So that's really interesting. But yeah, sorry. So Sonic 3 and Knuckles introduces these cutscenes in between the different zones that they take you to the next point. Some are really small, and others make a little more sense. I should say some make a little more sense than others, but it's just another unique little thing that separates this game from the other games that were on the Genesis. That's something, like I said, like this game considers the plot a little more than the other ones, so it's another way of showing that, really, which again I think is very cool. So as I mentioned here in part 1, I said here in part 1, this is part 2. What am I saying? This one is the gumball machine. You just, let the gumballs come on out, and I'm surprised I got a lot of the bumper ones. You just keep bouncing along until you get something, you see something that you like, and then you go for it in the middle. But you got to be careful with your timing, because if you draw something that you don't like, usually I would go for the electric shield, but I was like, this is Hydro City. I'm gonna need that shit. So yeah, and the balls, the gumballs that say rep, I believe are continues, but I could be very wrong about that. Not entirely sure, but it's not really important, because Sonic 3 was like the first game that saves your progress. So it's like continues aren't terribly important unless if you're playing on no save, like I am, and you get a game over. Though, like I suppose skill is one thing, but experience is another. The inexperienced players, and hell, even a lot of experienced players that I've seen, I'm kind of like one of the only people that will choose a no-save game, because I just like beating the whole thing in one sitting. Most people will choose one of the save files, of which there are 6 in Sonic 3 and 8 in 3 and Knuckles. But me personally, again, like I just like beating the whole game in one sitting, so I go for no save. And the skill part of it is just like, I don't like tooting my own horn, but I've become very experienced with this game, and I don't feel like I would ever get a game over. So either way, continues are kind of pointless. And this was my first ever no death run. I should point out. So I will be like showing off like some extra life locations, giant rings especially, which after you get all the Chaos Emeralds give you 50 rings. So there are like a plethora of opportunities to like rack up the extra lives in this game. So if you know where to look, you'll be covered for sure. So this was the third stage that I decided to get it perfect on. A very small one is special stage number 5. It's like the Chaos Emerald stages are it's something to get used to. But like once you're experienced with them, they pretty much become muscle memory. I don't usually run into trouble getting the Chaos Emeralds. Like, I'll only fuck up, like, every once in a great while. The Super Emerald stages are something to kind of worry about. But here's the mid-boss. So, you know, this guy's going to be tough. This guy is just going to be very tough. Absolutely tough. This is going to be one of the most challenging mid-bosses in the entire franchise. Just absolutely motherfucking difficult right here. Just absolutely, I don't even know how I'm going to... Oh, I beat him. It's something I find amusing that I can just stand in the middle the whole time, do nothing more than jump and beat him. It's a fun way to take out that boss, for sure. You can't do that as Knuckles, but that's something for the Knuckles run. So yeah, on to the name thing that I alluded to earlier. The title cards for this stage, like, gave many people the impression that the zone is supposed to be pronounced as Hydrocity. When I first when I first played the game, I also thought it was supposed to be Hydrocity Zone. But in official material, including like the notes for all the zones in Sonic Jam and Sonic Generations, you know, things written by the people who made the game and everything, it is supposed to be pronounced Hydro City, like with a space. I don't know what was up with that. It's not the longest named zone in this game, but like there's no space between Hydro and City, even though it's supposed to be pronounced like that. So maybe it's like an oversight from the developers. But like it's like one of those really stupid fucking debates in the Sonic community. Like what the name is supposed to be pronounced as. Like I don't take it as seriously, though sometimes I will jokingly give, like, I know Rabbit pronounces it still as Hydrocity, and I'll be like, hey, it's supposed to be Hydro City. But you know, it's just kind of silly. That's what I'll say about that. It's just kind of silly. But like it's just something that has been hotly debated for all this fucking time. This game is 24 years old. But I guess some people will just listen to what they thought of as a child or whenever they first played this game and whatever. So, getting back to the development of this game, which I didn't even start talking about, but I did mention the developers when I was talking about the Hydro City debate. But like, getting back to the development of this game, I remember mentioning in my Sonic 2 LP that like the game was developed in the United States between with a team of people who were both like from Japan and the US. So it was like experienced Japanese developers and student American developers. And the game was developed at the Sega Technical Institute. This game is very much the same. It was developed at STI in the United States. However, Yuji Naka, who was, you know, the director, was like, yeah, I don't want there to be like a culture clash, a culture shock, whatever. I don't want there to be some animosity between the developers from either nation, so Japanese developers only. So, as you'll see in the credits, like all of the developers are part of the Japanese team, and you know, that's something interesting to think about. It's just like I don't think that Mr. Naka did it out of any kind of malice towards Americans or anything, but I'm sure that maybe the fighting during the Sonic 2, I say fighting, but it wasn't really that fucking bad. During the development of Sonic 2 was maybe a little annoying. Maybe those damn kids wouldn't get off of his lawn. But you know, just something interesting to point out is, American-based studio, but the game was completely developed by Japanese people. So now we have 6 Chaos Emeralds, and that's a good thing. I made sure to get all the emeralds, both the Sonic and Knuckles, as quickly as anyone possibly could, all 14 of them. In doing this, I am showing the best route to get all the Chaos Emeralds. I'm gonna have all 7 by the end of this zone. So that's a good thing. And I am going to be showing a bunch of other giant rings too, like I said. So if you're someone who's had some time struggling to get the Chaos Emeralds, because I will say that they are something to learn, I already did when I played through the 5th Emerald stage, and I was rambling on about that. But if you're struggling to get the emeralds and you're new to this game, hopefully this will help you find locations. There are 77 giant rings in the entire game, and I find quite a few of them. Not so much in the Sonic and Knuckles half. Definitely enough to get you the 7 Super Emeralds. But it's definitely more prominent in the Sonic 3 half of the game. But here we are, it's number 7 already. And it is a very quick path to getting all the Chaos Emeralds. One thing I will have to say about this particular special stage, though, is I'm very thankful for the Brain Scratch Comms run of this game, because without it, I wouldn't have found the sort of pattern that I need to go to make this special stage a fucking cakewalk. So thank you to Ryan from Brain Scratch Comms, because otherwise this special stage is actually kind of confusing. If you don't know where to go through it. But hopefully my special stage playthrough here, this footage, helps out someone who might be having a problem with that particular special stage and getting that emerald. But now we have all the emeralds, and we have the ability to transform into Supersonic, which I'll be talking about more in the next part. Because basically all we have now is the boss. But yeah, that special stage can be cryptic. But there is definitely a set path you can go, and it's safe, it's easy, which are 2 things that I like. Because I suck at video games. But yeah, now we're about to enter the boss's domain here. It's looking like Robotnik time, and this guy will try to suck you in with the jets on his machine here. So you gotta avoid that, unless of course you got all the emeralds by the end of this and turned into Supersonic, made that a complete and total fucking cakewalk. Just completely destroyed his machine, no effort at all. So yeah, that was Hydro City Zone, and I'll see you guys for Marble Garden in the next part. Have a wonderful day.
Hey buddy, it looks like you lost your rocket shell thing. Oh, there it is. Want me to get it for you?